Good morning, second graders. Today we are going to be moving on to a new topic and working on 3D shapes. So our objective is we can and we will identify attributes of 3D shapes. So attributes is just a fancy word for characteristics or things that these shapes have. So we talked about attributes of 2D shapes so far, and we talked about their corners, their sides. We said that they're flat. Those are all attributes of 2D shapes. When you look here, you can see a corner and a side. We've done a really great job identifying those things. Now we're going to be doing something similar for 3D shapes. 3D shapes are not flat like 2D shapes. They're solid, or they have mass. You can pick them up and really feel them. It's not like a piece of paper. Instead of corners, you're going to call these areas where the edges meet a vertex, or if you have more than one, a vertex. You have edges, so instead of a side, we're going to call these areas where the faces meet edges. They're kind of like the lines on the side of each shape. And then the flat areas are called faces. Some examples of 3D shapes are sphere, cone, and cylinder. We're going to be learning about all of their names tomorrow. This is just a little bit of a preview today. Today we're really talking about those attributes, so the vertices, the edges, and the faces. Here are some examples of 2D shapes versus 3D shapes. So as you can see, you can pick up a 3D shape and feel it. They have multiple faces, most of them, not all of them, and they're just more solid than 2D shapes. 2D shapes are flat like a piece of paper. 3D shapes are solid like a box or a ball, things you might actually use. So here's a closer up look. This is a cube. The cube has edges, so these lines, you can look at this red one, this red line is called an edge. Now there are other edges, they're just not all highlighted. Where the two edges meet and to a point is called a vertex, and the flat area is called a face. So today you are going to be looking at a bunch of different shapes, and you're going to be deciding how many edges they have, how many vertices they have, and how many faces they have. So I'm going to switch to my big screen. I have some shapes here in front of me, and we're just going to talk about these shapes. Okay, so the first shape I have is a cube. A cube is similar to a square. Each face is actually one perfect square. So when I'm counting the edges, the faces, and the vertices on this cube, I'm really going to be holding it and moving it around. If you can't do that on your shape, I want you, on your paper, I want you kind of to pretend. You can also try and find things in your house that are similar to a cube that might help you with this. So here's my cube. The first thing I'm going to identify is how many faces it has. So the faces are these flat areas. They're flat and smooth. So one, I always have top and bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So all around the sides, top and bottom. 6 faces. For the vertices, I'm going to just kind of feel around for the corners. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So those are all the corners. I can kind of put my fingers on them, right? They're all the top and bottom. So those are 8 vertices. 6 faces. Now I need to see the edges. So the edges are the areas where 2 faces meet. They make a line. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I have to go down 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I can't forget about the bottom. 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 edges. So 6 faces, 8 vertices, and 12 edges on a cube. We have some shapes that look a little different. This is a sphere, it's a ball. So I don't have any, all this is rounded. I don't have any flat areas, so I don't have any faces. If I don't have any faces, I can't have any edges because edges are where 2 faces meet. So I don't have any faces, I don't have any edges, and I have no corners. So I don't have any vertices either. A sphere has none of those things. This is a rectangular prism, and it's very similar to a cube, except all the sides or faces are not squares. So some are rectangles. The top and the bottom are a square, 1, 2, and this edges or the side faces are rectangles, but it has the exact same attributes. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 edges, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vertices. So a rectangular prism and a square have the exact same amount of faces, edges, and vertices. This is called a pyramid. A pyramid has a square bottom, but it comes up kind of like a triangle. So when I look at this shape, I'll count the faces first. For the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 faces on a pyramid. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't forget about the top. 5 vertices. And for edges, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 edges. So 5 faces, 5 vertices, and 8 edges on a pyramid. We also sometimes might have a cone. Looks like this. This one's a little bit different, right? These are not edges because they are not flat, where edges have to be straight and flat. So I don't have any edges on this. I only have one face because I only have one flat side. We can call this one vertex, just one. And lastly, a cylinder. So a cylinder has 2 edges. It has 2 faces, 1, 2. We don't count this one because it's rounded. And it doesn't have any points, so no vertices. All right. And going back to the cylinder, I'm going to say we can count this as an edge. It isn't flat, but it is where these 2 places come to meet. So we're going to say 1 edge, 1 vertice, 1 face. All right, so those are the 2D shapes that we're going to be going over today. You guys are going to have a page that looks something like this. So it has a picture of the shape. You're going to tell me how many faces, edges, and vertices each shape has. And I think there's 5 or 6 shapes for you to determine this for. If it's hard for you to do this looking at the picture, I encourage you to draw on these. So if you take a pen tool, you can actually trace these, and I think that will make it a little bit easier for you. So I'm just going to get a red here so it's easy to see. So if I'm counting my faces, I'm going to put numbers on them. 1, 2, all 4 sides, 3, and then in the back, I'll put this one here, 4. This one's the front, this one's the back. That's why it gets a little tricky, and I need to get the top and the bottom. 5 and 6. So I'm going to say that this has 6 faces. Now I'm going to count the edges, and I might even trace the lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 edges. And by tracing them like that, I'm really careful that I don't miss any. I'm going to get a different color now, and I'm going to put a dot on each of my vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 vertices. And I'm really careful about that, and I can see them really well because I took the time to draw and count over them. All right, that's all of your work for today. If you have things around your house that are 3D shapes, you can use those to help you. You can use your drawing tool, whatever you feel is going to work best for you. Have fun.